various policies of the ANC, starting with economic transformation, social transformation, issues of gender, peace and stability, international relations. All those processes and policies are also going to be subject to the review next year. One of the major decisions that the ANC government and the people have adopted is the National Development Plan, which was adopted in December 2012 National Conference. This National Development Plan, as we all know, is not only the policy and plan of the ANC, but it is a plan for the whole country. Because when President Zuma became president of the Republic in 2009, he took a decision that we do not merely want a government plan, but we want a plan that must be accepted and embraced by the majority of South African people. Besides my predecessor, Minister Trevor Manuel, who was the chairperson of the National Planning Commission, all the other commissioners were not part of government. So that this plan must really become a national plan. So as the ANC, we have adopted the same plan. And as you know, since 2009 and 2020, in particular, government has begun a process of implementing this National Development Plan. But what has happened as well is that in this 5-year program, we have adopted what we call a medium-term strategic framework, which is your 5-year building program for us to achieve those objectives in 2030 in 16 years' time. We also say that in reviewing these policies and resolutions towards the National General Council, that in the past 20 years, we believe as the ANC, we've succeeded in large measure to consolidate all institutions of political democracy. We have a constitution that has been accepted by our people, which is the envy of the world. The institutions of political democracy are there operating very efficiently, even though there are still challenges. If you look on social activities, already about 16 million South Africans have access to social grants in dealing with extreme levels of poverty. On the educational front, major strides have been made. But when it comes to the economy, we still lag behind. That is why we have characterized this current phase as the second phase of our democratic transition, which must be characterized by radical economic transformation of our economy. So this program of radical transformation is about placing our economy on a qualitatively different path to ensure that there's sustainable growth, even though we still face challenges, as you know, from the release of Stats SA second quarter indicating that we've only grown about 0.6%. But we believe that our target of 5% can be achieved within this medium-term framework milestone. Which means that there are certain measures that we need to put in order to address this issue, ensuring at the same time that the historically disadvantaged individuals are part and parcel of our economy. And one of the sectors that must play a critical role in this review is how youth is being embraced in the South African economy. According to Stats SA, majority of South African people are young people. That means we are a very youthful society. But when you look at the share of benefits of the youth, be it employment, you find that there are many youths who are still unemployed in South Africa, and also in terms of educational levels as well. So we require in this review that as the ANC, we need to use the spirit of 1976, when the youth of Soweto had the courage to rise up against the obnoxious system of apartheid. We need to ensure as well that the youth of the 1980s, the young lions, that kind of spirit must be able to ensure that as ANC, we rise up to the challenges that our young people are facing. We also, too, we want to ensure that the private sector, which actually controls the largest sector of the South African economy, must come to the party, because about 70% of production and employment still resides within the private sector. We need to make sure as well that we crowd in private investment from the private sector to about 25% of our GDP in our country. In terms of our projections for the next 5 years, we need to add an additional 10,000 megawatts of electricity so that we can be able to pump the economy going forward. On unemployment, we have to reduce unemployment rate to about 14% in South Africa, and also increase our investment in research and development to about 1.5% of the GDP. But on the broad corruption, our position is very clear as ANC. Wherever corruption rears its ugly head, regardless of who is involved, justice must take its course. When we talk about black economic empowerment, what is the proportion of that 1 trillion rand has actually gone to previously disadvantaged individuals? So these are the hard questions that we should ask ourselves so that we can be able to turn this economy around and also ensure that our people who were destroyed by the system of apartheid must also become beneficiaries. That's what I think radical economic transformation must mean.